We can start straight away with the chanting. There's some more people to participate, but they are running a bit late. So we'll start on time, and then we'll do meditation, and then we'll have a chat about what I spoke about at the end of last week's class, which is the different types of love in relation to the question that I received through Messenger about Valentine's Day the previous week. Okie dokie. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato SammaSambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato SammaSambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato SammaSambuddhassa. Buddham saranam gacchami, Dhammam saranam gacchami, Sangham saranam gacchami, Dutiyampi Buddham saranam gacchami, Dutiyampi Dhammam saranam gacchami, Dutiyampi Sangham saranam gacchami, Tadayampi Buddham saranam gacchami, Tadayampi Dhammam saranam gacchami, Tadayampi Sangham saranam gacchami. Namo Buddhaya, Namo Dharmaya, Namo Sanghaya. Namo Buddhaya, Namo Dharmaya, Namo Sanghaya. Namo Buddhaya, Namo Dharmaya, Namo Sanghaya. I take refuge until I am enlightened in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. Through the positive potential I create by practicing the 6 paramitas, may I soon attain enlightenment in order to benefit all sentient beings. I take refuge until I am enlightened in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. Through the positive potential I create by practicing the 6 paramitas, may I soon attain enlightenment in order to benefit all sentient beings. I take refuge until I am enlightened in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. Through the positive potential I create by practicing the 6 paramitas, may I soon attain enlightenment in order to benefit all sentient beings. May all sentient beings have happiness and its causes. May they be free from suffering and its causes. May they never be parted from their happiness beyond suffering. May they abide in equanimity, free of bias, attachment to the near, and aversion from the far. I shall cause this. Great compassionate Buddha, please inspire me to be able to do so. Reverently, I prostrate with my body, speech, and mind, and present clouds of every types of offerings, actual and mentally transformed. I confess all of my negative actions accumulated since beginningless time, and rejoice in all the virtues of all holy and ordinary beings. Please remain until cyclic existence ends, and turn the wheel of Dharma for all sentient beings. I dedicate the virtues of myself and others to the great enlightenment. However innumerable all sentient beings are, I vow to save them all. However inexhaustible my delusions are, I vow to extinguish them all. However immeasurable the Dharma teachings are, I vow to master them all. However endless the Buddha's way is, I vow to follow it completely. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Tayata Gate Gate Paragate Parasamgate Bodhi Soha. Tayata Gate Gate Paragate Parasamgate Bodhi Soha. Tayata Gate Gate Paragate Parasamgate Bodhi Soha. So now you can get yourself into a nice position for meditation, whatever is comfortable for you. Somebody asked me a couple of weeks ago whether it was okay to lie down during meditation. And I said that it's actually better to be upright, whether that's in a sitting position, or even if you're in a chair, like a recliner even, and so you can rest your back if you're having problems with your back. But it is okay to lie down to meditate if you have to, if it really is uncomfortable for you to sit upright for a short period of time. You just have to be very careful that you remember when we lie down or when we sleep, this is the position we're in. So you have to be careful. It's such a strong habit that when we lie down that we sleep or try to sleep or nearly sleep. And so just be careful you don't fall asleep or fall into the dull mind easily when you're lying down. Remember, there's 4 types of postures. The Buddha says to practice the Dharma during all of these 4 postures. That's standing up, that's moving, sitting down, or reclining or lying down. And so this practicing the Dharma, of course, is the path of morality. It's the path of meditation and the path of insight, which also includes compassion and love and so forth. So when we are practicing the Dharma, including the aspect of meditation, which we will do in a moment, these 4 postures come into play. Okay, so, but once again, I'll mention, really, it's like you want your mind to be upright, nice and flexible, strong, stable. And this is how this is the posture we should adopt, if possible, is to be upright, to be flexible and comfortable. And then this will help the mind to be likewise. Okay, so I just thought I'd mention that because it was a query coming through Messenger. I just mentioned one other thing, actually, it comes to mind right now. We haven't been getting many people attending or participating live with us, maybe anywhere between, I guess, over time, like 10 or maybe 20. And that's okay. Just let you know that even on my Facebook page, normally there's at least, say, 40 or 50 people that view the video and get the teaching. So you can say indirectly that you're involved, you're Dharma brothers and sisters of these people as well. And that's only on my page too. It's also posted on other pages. So it's definitely worthwhile. Even if there was only one of you, I'd still do the Dharma class. Or actually 0, then I just do the recording. So excuse my little dry humor there. But it'd be nice for the students who can attend, who can participate with us at the time that we do this live. You should participate. This will help your Dharma practice. It will help your devotion to the Dharma and your commitment. And even if there are teachings being given at any specific time that you already know, this is good to reinforce your knowledge and to remind you sometimes. Okay, so now get yourself in that position like I mentioned, and gently close your eyes, your lips lightly touching, mouth nice and relaxed with the tongue resting on the upper palate above the top teeth. Initially, now bring your mind to your body, and we will release the tension from the body.
Saranam.
So now release any tension from your body. Thank you, Naresh. And all the way from Nepal, the birthplace of the Buddha. So now release some tension from your feet, from your toes, the balls of the feet, the arches and the heels, and the top of your feet and around your ankles and Achilles tendons, and from your lower leg, your calf muscles and your shin area. The lower part of your legs there, around your ankles and feet, have a lot of pressure points that relate to the vital organs in the body. So when you release tension from these areas, you're also releasing the tension from your vital organs. Now release the tension from around your knees, the front, sides, and back of your knees. And your upper leg, the quad muscles and the hamstrings. And also your midsection. Release from the groin, the hip flexors, and the glute muscles. From your lower stomach, on and above your hips and your lower back. And further up your stomach, your sides, and to the center of your back. From your chest area, under your arms, and your upper back. From the lateral muscles and the rhomboid muscles. And also from the upper trap muscles that run between the neck and the shoulders, as well as your shoulders. Your upper arms, biceps and triceps. Elbows, forearms, wrists, hands, fingers, and thumbs. Now release the tension from your neck, from the front, sides, and back of your neck, and back of your head, sides of your head, your ears and temples, and also from your face, from around your cheekbones and cheeks. Make sure you're not clenching your jaw, from your chin and mouth, nose, sinuses, eye sockets, and eyes. And on your forehead, make sure you're not frowning. Keep your face nice and relaxed. And from the top of your head, from the crown of your head, release any tension. And now briefly scan your body from the tips of your toes to the tips of your fingers and to the top of your head, just to see if there's any more tension that you can release. And when you've done this, now bring your mind initially to the tip of your nose. And follow the breath, the feeling of the breath as you breathe in and out. As you breathe in, the air is quite cool as it passes your throat. And that is, as it enters the lungs, they expand as they fill with the air. And as you breathe out, they compress. As the air passes your throat on the way out your nose, it is now quite warm from being inside the body. That is all we have to do right now. Breathing inside and outside. If you have inner disturbances, such as thoughts, feelings, some sort of emotions or attitudes, don't cling to them. Don't grasp at them. Don't try to forcefully push them away or even deny them. Just let them come and go naturally by refocusing on your breath, replacing your mind on your breath. And it is likewise if your mind starts to become dull and sleepy. You wake yourself up ever so slightly by refocusing on your breath, waking your mind up from being dull. If you have disturbances from outside, whether it's some sort of outside noise or movement around you, do likewise, because the disturbance is actually happening in your own mind. These outside conditions are only secondary. So now we will practice like this for a few minutes in silence. Do your best to keep your body still and relaxed, upright. And do your best to keep your mind seamlessly on your breath. So now you can feel very happy with yourself and fill yourself with warm, universal loving kindness, with the metta. You are your best friend. Fill yourself with so much loving kindness that now it overflows and radiates outwards, initially to your family and friends, your loved ones. Filling them also with this universal loving kindness. And gradually this loving kindness radiates further and further, now to include those you regard as strangers. Those people that you may know only a little bit, or not at all. Now radiate the loving kindness to those that you find difficult. Those people that may irritate you. You may even regard them as adversaries or enemies. May all of these people have happiness and the causes of happiness. May they be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May they be peaceful. And now extend this loving kindness out further to also include now all living beings, not just human beings. Those living beings that reside around your immediate area. Those living beings that you find attractive or cute, that you like. Those ones that you don't think about. as well as those ones that you may even fear or dislike. All of the living beings, whether they live on the land, fly through the air, under the land, in the waters, whether they are born from the wombs, from eggs, from moisture, or through transformation. May they also be happy and free from suffering and be peaceful. May they be safe. And gradually extend this loving kindness like a tidal wave of loving kindness to now pervade your whole state or region or county and other states and counties. Have this loving kindness pervade the whole country and other countries. Initially those you're familiar with, and that those that are close to you, and also those that are far away and that you're not familiar with. May this loving kindness pervade this whole planet. May all of the living beings, the innumerable living beings that live on this planet, may they have happiness and the causes of happiness, and be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May there be peace everywhere. And also other planets. And have this loving kindness now radiate throughout the whole solar system. And throughout other solar systems, the whole galaxy, the Milky Way galaxy. So much momentum now with this loving kindness that it pervades other galaxies and throughout the whole universe and other universes throughout infinite space. This universal loving kindness, unlimited throughout infinite space. And this loving kindness is coming from your own mind. This infinite loving kindness is coming from you. Your mind is also unlimited and infinite. This universal loving kindness comes from your wisdom. It's not separate from your wisdom, not separate from the other enlightened qualities. Compassion, love, wisdom, generosity, morality, patience, enthusiasm and joy, and concentration. And now be present here and now, and we will recite the dedication prayer. Due to this merit, may I soon attain the enlightened state of the Buddha, so that I may be able to liberate all sentient beings from their sufferings. May the precious bodhicitta, not yet born, rise and grow. May that born have no decline, but increase forevermore. And may the precious view of shunyata, not yet born, rise and grow. May that born have no decline, but increase forevermore. And so now you can feel even more pleased with yourself. Now I'm not talking about pleased as in your egotistical self-centeredness, not like this. Not thinking, oh, I am better than everyone else. Not like that. But, fill yourself with so much happiness with what you're doing. Whenever you engage in good actions, such as what we just did, and other actions when you're what I call off the cushion as well, rejoice in these actions. As we rejoice, this helps us have the enthusiasm and joy to continue to and increase our engagement in such actions. As we do this, there's less chance that we're going to do wrong things, non-virtuous actions. If ever we do engage in non-virtuous, or you could say unwholesome or bad actions or thoughts, then recognize this. Don't be hard on yourself. Just recognize it and say, okay, I regret doing that. I am going to now make the strong resolve not to do it again. But I think you can see it as, let's say you have a cup, for instance, and you pour virtuous tea, beautiful, clean tea into the cup. Then as you fill your cup with this, there's no chance for dirt to fill your cup. In other words, the cup represents the mind there. The more you fill your mind with these good qualities, the less chance there is for the negative qualities. So the more that you fill your mind with kusala, the wholesome, the less chance for akusala, unwholesome in your mind. Okay. Just to let you know from last week, those who didn't participate last week, then maybe have a look at it. Definitely look at last week's video and other videos as well of these classes. But last week's video was talking about the mind as the object. So it's especially for advanced students, have a look at this. Really, if you look at it, it's more like, you could say this guy is teaching on emptiness, shunyata, or anatta, no self, and also tathagata garbha, or the Buddha nature. That's really what I was talking about last week briefly, okay? Using different examples. And I mentioned to you that the previous week, because it was around certain parts of the world, the previous week was known, or a day the previous week was known as Valentine's Day, or Saint Valentine's Day. Now this, of course, over many years became known as a Romance Day. I don't know who Valentine was, or Saint Valentine, because I'm not Christian and never have studied these teachings, so I don't know. But I mean, obviously, if somebody's a saint, then they're going to be good, right? For sure. But in Buddhism, like I mentioned, it's different. Maybe if we do use that word saint, which we don't very often, but I've seen it written sometimes with translations, it's normally representative of what we call in Pali the Sotapanna, Anagami, Sakadagami, and Arhat. Okay, so the 4 levels as you work your way to being attaining nirvana. Okay, so basically what you're doing and through these levels is you are purifying your mind to eventually be totally pure. Okay, and then of course we go on in the Mahayana tradition to the bodhisattvas, high-level bodhisattvas, and eventually a Buddha in all traditions. Okay, so maybe those ones that are on their way and are purifying the mind, never do any harm. Maybe these are what you could call saints. Okay, now going into the other thing. So I think, it's nice for the husband and wife or partners, long-time partners, even short-term partners, good to maybe be reminded to care for each other and to love each other. It can be very helpful for your relationship. It can help you to fill your heart with gladness, and appreciation and respect and care. It can be very helpful. So these types of, I should go back and say the original question was, do Buddhists celebrate Valentine's Day? Now, I have to answer that first. It's up to the individual. Buddhists don't particularly say, okay, it's Valentine's Day, we have to do big puja, big practice. No, nothing like that. But if certain Buddhists decide they want to engage in the practice and be reminded on that day of the love for their partner, it could even be parental love and things like this, which we'll go into in a moment, then that's fine, as long as it's done with care, with good intentions. And maybe I think sometimes people give flowers or gifts on these days, or maybe go to a restaurant, have a meal or something like that, something special, and that's fine. It's all good. But if you don't choose to acknowledge these days, that's fine too. And the other thing I could say is these things, such as these days in the world, have become such a selling point. So maybe don't get involved too much in that side, the commercial side. Businesses, it's fine because they have to earn a living, and the individuals as well. But businesses, I think, take advantage of some of these days and make people spend a lot of money that they don't have sometimes. So if you don't have the money, don't spend it, okay? Don't increase your credit card debt on any days like this. It's important. Okay, so now we can talk about, and I spoke to this other person who asked the question, or I wrote, I should say, and speaking about, we could say 4 or 5 different types of love. Let's say 5 today, okay? Even though one of them you can break up, put together with another one. For instance, parental love can also be endearing love together. Anyway, but we'll break it up into 5 today. The first 4 of them are conditioned love. And so they come together due to cause and effect and conditioning, to do with our mental habits, to do with our physical habits too, to do with mainly mental, okay? Because remember, love is in the mind, whatever type of love this is. It's not the unconditioned love that we really are aiming towards on the Dharma path. Okay, the unconditioned love is this love that we call metta. Okay, now you can take it even further and unify together metta and karuna, and then with mudita and upekkha. Now, metta means universal loving kindness, karuna means universal compassion, and mudita means universal empathetic joy. That means having joy in other people's goodness and success and so forth. And then we'll base all of this on upekkha, which means a mind of equanimity, on non-biased mind. Okay, so, but that I'll talk about that last. How long have I got to go? 4 minutes or something. So I've written myself a few notes, okay? I thought this was an important question to answer for everybody, okay? And not just answer blandly on, yes, Buddhists can celebrate if they want. They don't have to, you know, not just simple like that. First of all, we look at parental love. This can also be known as motherly love. Generally, parental love is regarded as unconditional. We say it's an unconditional love of a mother to the child or a father to a child. But actually, it's still conditioned because the love they have for this child, they don't have this for maybe other people's children. You know, so it's still limited, it's still conditioned, even though it is fantastic. It tends to bring joy. It's give it joyful feelings, and it makes the mother or the parent, it makes you thoughtful and considerate, which are really, really good qualities. It includes other types of love as well, which I'll mention in a moment, but it also can relate to possession, like a possessive type of love. It can also be like an endearing love as well, and has an element, all of this has an element of metta. Okay, an element of the universal love or the unconditioned love. Basic, approximate, I'm only giving approximates now, okay, because this will vary depending on the individual and their state of mind. But about 60% of this parental love is compassion. Good compassion. Not the universal compassion yet, not the Mahakaruna yet, or bodhicitta yet, okay, but it's predominantly compassion, 60%. About 20% is like an ownership or possessiveness and pride, a self-pride, because this is your child. You know, so this has got a lot to do with me and what is mine as well. Then also about 20% is about attachment. You have attachment to your child or your children. Okay, the next type of love is romantic love. By the way, these are not in any specific order, but I've decided to speak about them in this order today. Romantic love is emotional love. You know, I mentioned this briefly before about Valentine's Day. It is based basically on attraction. That's a mental attraction and a physical attraction. And it is based on a passion, but passionate for each other, whether that's to spend just time together, just sitting there, or whether it's to engage in the physical activity together. And there's kind of like an element of adoration as well. You adore each other. This gives rise generally to joy, to pride, to an inner strength. And it's based, unfortunately, still based on self-centeredness, because this is limited, you know. And also possessiveness comes into this as well, because this is your wife or your husband or your partner. Sometimes it can relate a lot to status as well, and it can relate to the image that you want to portray, the appearance of the other person and your own appearance, and unfortunately does give rise sometimes to jealousy, which is a negative state of mind, and which can then give rise to anxiety and fear. And unfortunately does not last, does not stay the same all the time. And so we are under 1 minute already. So I hope that you've enjoyed today's class. We will finish this next week and then move on to different aspects of the mind again. Okay, we will just continue to do these classes on and on. I hope you are well. I hope you stay happy. I hope you study the Dharma well, practice Dharma well, and share the Dharma well. Look after your mind. Namo Buddhaya. Namo Dharmaya.